Hey guys, it's Dion, and I came second place in the Gold Coast Manor Market Regional, playing Memento Radiant Goblin. It's nearly the same deck that I played for YCS, but I decided that it'd be a really good idea to take it to the regional last weekend, and it ended up going really well. So let's get to the profile. So first off, playing our standard, I'm playing 3 Angwich. It's your best starter. It's not an ignition effect, so it can't really be interrupted. It's also a reborn. It plays around a lot of cards, and it is very important for a combo that I'll show you, or that a combo of cards that I'll show you later on in the deck. But Angwich really good. You need to play it at 3. Next off is Tatsuno Toshigo, the horse. It's a foolish burial essentially for either 3 or 2. Cards are also really good. You need to remember, if you're going to go into your Radiant lines, that you should summon this first so that you don't hamstring yourself later on in the combo. But no, Tatsu, good card, you just need to be careful. 2 Gobbo, it's your bridge. This is also a foolish 2, but instead of monsters, it's any 2 cards. So sometimes you send the Gaddock, you send the one of Gaddock, as well as one of the fusion spells, and then you can recur that. Otherwise, with the horse, you would either send like Gaddock plus like 2 cards or something just to get your combo started. But no, this card is also really good. It comes up a lot. Played it 2. I think 3 is a bit too much, and 1 is 2 is effectively for redundancies. One's not enough. Next you're on 2 Sleepy. I had to cut the 3rd. In pure you play 3, but in a hybrid kind of deck you'd play 2. 2's more than enough. Sometimes you just leave 1 in grave and put 1 back in deck when you're doing the end of your turn. It is a foolish if it's popped, and it's a poly. Lets you play around a lot of cards, and it plays really well with a lot of the tech options that you have in this deck, as well as the engine. Next we have Mace. Mace pops any memento to search any memento card, and it searches anything. This is a really good card. It's also a Snatch Steal during your opponent's turn, so it's a really good card. This is Darkblade. Darkblade is, people will forget that it's a mystical space typhoon. It's also an E-tally. So this card, you would potentially play at 3 in some deck lists, but I think that playing 1 is enough because you're trying to play around Foolos. You only really need the 1. You cut down a little bit on the engine here, so good deck. Arguably the best card in the deck, Akihiron. This card just gets more effects the more time goes along. It adds back a card from the Grave or Banish, it revives itself, and it lets you do your win con, which is to attack directly for 8k. Card's good, play card. Something that some people aren't on is Horn Dragon. It's a free summon for material, and it's also a pop 3. A lot of lists aren't on it because they want to be as consistent as possible. I think that because of the added engines that you're playing with the Radiant Typhoon and the Goblin stuff, that you have the ability to just re-include this back in the deck. The deck's at 42, so it's actually not that bad to play like an extra end board piece like this. And of course, the 5k. It's a Cash Terror Revive. It attacks everything if it's alone, and this card's incredible. It's the whole centerpiece of the deck. You can't play the deck without it, and I wouldn't play it in any more than 1. Next, you have the rating cards. Both are free summons if there's nothing in the back row. Either start your combo. You start your combo with this. You add chant, and then you continue. You start your combo with this. You add this, and then you just continue your combo. This card's really good. They add a lot of ceiling to the deck. They also add a lot of floor. Free summons. Yeah, crazy cards. They're also technically board breakers. I'll get into the extra deck for that, but no, these cards are incredible. Gives you free bodies so that you can perform a lot of your end board states. And again, once we get into the extra deck, we'll get into that. You have the 1 of Dug Charger. This is part of the combo. Unfortunately, you do need to play the 1. Even if you open this, as long as you play one of the spells, let me get it. As long as you play this, it is a 1-card combo. You normal this, add this, effective this, tribute this, summon Goblin, then continue your turn. That's why you play this. Also, so you have a redundant target. Normally, this is the card that you add. This is also technically a board breaker. My opponent in one game didn't read its additional effects, so I was allowed to detach one Xyz material from Caesar. Yeah, no, this card's nuts. Play these cards. And then just the rest of the monsters, 3 copies of Ash. You can play around Mulchies, but you'd prefer not to. Also, this is just generically the best hand trap in the game, so yeah, you played at 3. And 3 Fua. Those are the only hand traps you really play. Just those 6. Fua is the most generic one that lets you play, that your opponent has to play into. I was thinking of playing the Bell, honestly, but I decided that I wouldn't play it in main because of the versatility of the deck. You want to draw into cards that help break boards, and that ended up working out really well for me. You have 2 Fallen the Virtuous. This is actually the extra card that I decided to add in. This plays really well to turn on your Memento cards. It's also a nice board breaker. Like this is a 1-for-1 trade with Caesar. Card's insane. And then if you get to send one of the, if you get to send Ecclesia to the grave, it's an extra body board breaker. It's awesome. Continuing on, we have 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. I decided on 2 because the monsters can't add Mystical Space Typhoon from the grave. So if you already have everything, you just want to be able to add one from the deck. And honestly, seeing this, especially this deck is built to be anti-Draco Tail. Like, I hate that deck. So you just play 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. It's awesome. Trust me on this one. Add that. You have 2 Vision. If you open one of the Memento quick play spells and you don't use it in the course of your combo, you can just use this to draw 2. And it's also just really threatening to add MST. Yeah, card's really good. And then 3 Chant. Yeah, combo starter once again. You need as many combo starters in this deck to play. Your opponent you need to flood your opponent with decision making so that they struggle to play. And like this is the card that like kind of hints at them that they should maybe address it. If they don't, you get to just break their board. And then the Memento spells. I decided on 3 Bone Party because it's probably the one that lets you play the most, as opposed to the two fusions. This card's really good because it lets you dodge a lot of interruptions. It also turns on the rest of your Memento cards. The card's awesome. And then we're playing 2 fusion. You don't need more than 2, if I'm going to be honest with you. I was going to play 3, but when I flipped the script, instead of playing 3 this, 2 this, and I'm doing this ratio, I found that I never needed it. And if you open more than 1, it's a brick. If you open it in some hands, it's a brick. So I wanted to be able to play as much as possible. And the last card, pretty important card, the Field Spell. It does a lot. Let's just say that your opponent can't activate cards in the battle phase when you battle. So, and it's also just a free reset. So that's the main deck. That's 42. We're gonna go to the extra. We have 2 copies of Combined Creation. Some people play 3. If you're good enough, you don't need 3. You just need 2. This card's insane. It's just removal. You need to just be really careful with how you resource manage when you like destroy it, so that you can do the rest of your combo. Yeah, you don't need more than 2. This card's good. Just one of this. One of the Twin Dragon. It's just the end of your combo. Sometimes to play around Paralia or to play around Foolos, you can play around not summoning this, but honestly, the amount of bodies that you get off of this, as well as the ad, is insane. We'll go to our links now. We have the Liger out. So while it's pointing to something, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So you summon the 5k to the arrow that this points to, and you can add a Liger. If they manage to then do anything on the crackback, there have been many games against Lunalight where I've just been able to outgrind them just because the deck can play again and again and again. So this card's awesome. I'm on some of the Power 3 Cross Sheep. Honestly, I didn't really go into this, but it's a really generic to get cards monsters off the board, and just for a little extra push. SP Little Knight, quite often the card that you'll end on the most so you can dodge Nib. And Masquerena, honestly the rarest card, but there are occasions where you need to summon this instead of SP, but it's more often than not just SP Little Knight, so those cards are good. We play the Negate package, so you link Anguish into this, you summon Proxy with 2 of your other bodies, normally either the Radiant or the Goblin cards, and then you use these to fuse into this. Then it's a Negate. And then you use this to attach this. It's very formidable, especially in Game 1. They have to play around a Negate as well as the rest of your board, and it's just kind of insane. We have another engine piece. These are what you go into with the Radiant Typhoon cards. It is also a board breaker, so when something gets detached from it, maybe from Doug or from Grand Entrance, you can target a card they control and attach it to it, so this card is really good. You play the Fallen and the Virtuous targets, you only need 1 and 1. Some people were telling me to play Albion, and that literally makes no sense, so you want to be able to get extra value when you use the second one, and this makes you have a 3rd piece of removal, so yeah, no, these 2 are golden. Guardian Chimera. When you have your end board, you can use Memento Fusion to go into this. A lot of people confuse that you may be able to use like Sleepy to go into this, but that's completely incorrect. You don't do that because this needs a spell card to go into it, so no, this card's good. You just need to be careful if you're playing draw or you're under draw, you can't resolve its effect. And then the last Spice card, we have Baphomet. Use any two of different types, so Beast, Fiend, or Illusion. Your combined creation is an Illusion. Tatsu or Sleepy is a Beast, and Gaddock and Goblin are Fiends. And we'll go into the side deck to kind of explain why we do that. So we do that so we can go into our Floodgate. Fun. We love Floodgates. Diabells. It counters Radiant Typhoon, it counters something like Mitsurugi. Honestly, it counters a lot of decks. If they don't have an answer to this, then they can't do anything. If they normal summon something to try and, or like Special Fenrir, you have cards that can answer that with the rest of your end board. It's just Protect the Tower for this card, and you just pretty much win the game. It's the deck's own version of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. We have 2 copies of Droll. Honestly, I almost never went into this, but in those really rare rogue matchups, this does come in handy. Again, you have to be careful with Guardian Chimera because that can prevent you from using its effect if you're under this. But I went into Mitsurugi a lot, so this is good. To Paralia, I think it's the 2nd most generic Mulch Army. I was on 3 until I decided to play Diabells, but I think that the slot is worth that instead of these. You just want to draw into the rest of your side deck, which mostly consists of board breakers, so that you can do what your deck does best and break boards, because that's what the main deck does. If you do that, then you just win games. 3 Bell. Probably because I'm punishing myself, but probably because I also hate Draco Tail. I really just like playing Bell in some capacity. This card's insane. You just need to be careful because there are some cards that can only be activated once per turn, and this negates activation. So if they use an effect like that, they can just do it again. So just be really careful with that. But playing 3, it felt right. Did me favors at YCS and at the regional, so it was good. 3 Droplet, because sometimes we just need a unanswerable board breaker. There are some fringe scenarios where this card comes up, and playing a card that manipulates your field so that you can play your Tekatalika's 5k attack everything, like win condition is excellent. And then our last one of Call by the Grave. I just needed a one-of card that helped me go first. The deck's already excellent going first, so I didn't feel the need to play that too many cards going first in the side deck. So, Call by the Grave, generically good. I genuinely saw it like a lot of the time that I put it in. So, I don't know. Destiny wants me to win, I guess, maybe. And then 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster. You do want to threaten like an entire back row with these cards, because the deck doesn't really interact with the back row pre-combo. And let's say if you're trying to contest like Dracotail Flame, the deck has a lot of ways to like dance around that. You have Droplet in the side, you have Bell, you have Ash, you have Mystical Space Typhoon targeting these cards. So these cards were good. I was on evenly matched until I was corrected, because the deck wants to kill and you just want to kill. So that's the deck. Unfortunately lost the finals, so I didn't manage to take the win, but tournament was really fun. It was really good. I think the deck's really powerful, and especially into the meta. It can struggle with certain matchups. Radiant Typhoon, if it interrupts you on the way to your combo, can be a little bit of a problem. But Dracotail, I've played into an entire Dracotail board, and it like multiple times, and it's pretty good into that deck. So I recommend the deck if you're kind of looking for something like that. But outside of that, shout out to Breaksword, especially to Mr. James Cheeseman for convincing me to play the deck. Shout out to the rest of my my testing buddies. Shout out to Ben Babita. He's really good, always wanting to test with me. Shout out to Mana Market, my locals, which is where we are right now, where the regional was held. And shout out to Hakuna Matata for asking me to put a deck profile on his channel. Thank you.